some casinos are jumping on.
And we're taking a look at rain showers across the area. They will continue. Will they be out of here in time for football? We got that coming up.
And we check in on the Labor Day weekend travel rush.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
All bets are on in Kansas as sports betting is now legal in the Sunflower State. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Tanya Bach. Topping our first 7 minutes, Governor Kelly made the betting official as of noon yesterday. You're allowed to place sports bets at a state-owned casino in person or online. And this comes with the start of the college football season and a week ahead of the NFL regular season kickoff. As Grant DeMars reports, the Kansas Star Casino in Mulvane partnered with FanDuel to bring Kansans an in-person sports betting experience.
It's taken a lot of fast and hard work for the Kansas Star Casino in Mulvane to fully prepare for legalized sports betting Thursday.
This has been a very crazy time, a very exciting time. It's been a mad rush to get everything open, but we're very excited. Kansans are ridiculously excited about just sports in general and sports betting.
But the casino hasn't been working alone. FanDuel has experience with this.
It's nothing we haven't done before. This is our 27th retail location in the country. This is my 5th trip here over the last 2 or 3 months.
Right now, Kansas Star has a temporary retail space with tin wagering kiosks and windows. Next week on September 8th, its permanent retail sportsbook will open.
We'll have 20 kiosks, 4 betting windows, a 40-foot TV wall. It's every sports bettor's dream.
We have our grand opening ceremony. Jordy Nelson of NFL fame will be placing the first ceremonial bet.
Both the Kansas Star and FanDuel expect to see a lot of people curious about sports wagering or placing bets for the first time.
We expect the launch of sports betting to bring in a new group of guests that we haven't seen before. So we're very excited to showcase the property as well.
I'm expecting it to be busy. I'm expecting to have lots of questions.
And happening at the start of the college football and NFL season.
It's perfect timing. We're ready to go.
Hollywood Casino in Kansas City is offering sports betting through retail sports books. Fort Scott Book Club is discussing Civil War history. Readers are learning about the life of Susie King Taylor, the first black nurse during the Civil War and the first black woman to self-publish her memoirs. While discussing the book, readers also had a hands-on activity, learning how to handle a surgeon's amputation kit.
Tonight's book is specifically about African-American nurse and her story working with a USCT regiment, which might not be Kansas specific, but we had the USCTs, the US colored troops here, also had nursing here as well and female nursing, so I felt it made a good connection.
Next month's book is about the travels of a Kansas soldier during the Civil War era. Well, this weekend is looking promising for those looking to get outdoors, mostly. Chris Warner joins us with the first look at the forecast.
You know, it's funny you say mostly because mostly is a key word in the weekend forecast, but mostly what? We'll find out in just a second. First, Skywatch Storm Tracker. We're getting a break in the rain, but we may see a little bit more later this afternoon before it does eventually clear out. So, if you've been under the rain, check it out. 74 Welch, 72 in Miami, 73 in Joplin, 69 at the noon hour in Lamar. And if you've not been in the rain, places like Fort Scott, Iola, Chanute, and Yates Center, the warm spot at 82, 80 Chanute and Iola, and 77 in Fort Scott. So, Friday night football, how's it gonna be? Well, we are currently looking at cloud interference on the play. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies by kickoff, 73 and 72 at halftime under those mostly cloudy skies. So let's take a look at, let's take a look at absolutely nothing because this future track is running backwards. Okay, well, that's all right. We didn't want to talk about future rain anyway. As we go through the rest of that is the second time this week that has happened to me, by the way. The second time this week it's decided to run backwards. We're going to get down eventually back into the upper 60s again as the night goes on, and we're looking at lower to mid 60s for overnight lows, and those storm chances will eventually clear out. We'll break down everything you need to know about the weekend here in just a few minutes.
All right. We'll figure out our backwards situation.
Yeah, we're going to go get that taken care of.
We'll head back in time and fix that.
Let's see
Back
if we
to the
can.
future.
We'll start the noon over again.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, it seems nothing can get in the way of Americans and their vacation plans. A recent survey found 53% plan to go somewhere this weekend despite inflation, high gas prices, and flight delays. Chris Van Cleve joins us from Washington's Reagan National Airport.
If it's Labor Day weekend, the Steinberger family is on the move, usually flying out of New York for one last summer adventure. But this year, they're hitting the road.
The fear of our family being stuck in the Caribbean or in another part of the United States definitely did weigh into our decision on doing a drivable destination.
While the national average for a gallon of gas has fallen steadily for the last 11 weeks, currently hovering around $3.80, driving will still cost the Steinbergers about 20% more than it would have last year.
Oh my goodness, if I had $1 every time I had a canceled flight, I wouldn't have to work.
And for flyers, more than 2,000 flights have already been canceled so far this week. Airlines and air traffic control staffing issues this summer led carriers to reduce schedules and step up hiring. But more than 1,000 airline pilots started the holiday weekend on the picket line at 13 airports nationwide, a one-day protest over pay and scheduling.
All these pilots are off duty today. They're here on their off day to show their frustration with Delta management.
This comes after a summer of headaches where nearly a quarter of flights have been delayed on average by nearly an hour. In June, that sent airline complaints up 270% compared to 2019. Now, the Department of Transportation is launching this new consumer dashboard showing how the nation's airlines compare when things go awry.
If they're not prepared to serve customers well, we'll be ready with more rules and more enforcement as needed.
Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg says airline performance is improving, but there's more work to do. How do you feel about going into the Labor Day weekend?
I do think the steps that have been taken so far are going to be helpful going into Labor Day, but I also do not believe that the system is where it needs to be.
Delta says those pilot pickets did not impact its operation, and it was really more about gaining leverage in contract negotiations than anything else. Now, if you're flying or driving, inflation is impacting the cost of your trip. Airfare up about 20%. Gas prices still 65 cents or so higher than they were last year. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Reagan National Airport.
Well, according to AAA, bookings are up 22% over last year for domestic travel and up 104% for international travel. Well, NASA is counting down to another attempt to launch its Artemis mission on a test flight to the moon. The window opens Saturday afternoon, and hundreds of thousands of people are expected to gather near the Kennedy Space Center to witness this historic return to space. The rocket was originally scheduled to lift off on Monday, but technical glitches scrubbed the launch. That's a look at today's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Up next on KOAM News at noon, need a job?
U.S. companies continue to hire new workers. I'm Matt Piper with a look inside the latest job numbers.
And later, we're making homemade crab ravioli in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. A new government report shows the job market remaining strong and more people looking for work. Matt Piper has the latest.
A number of industries are looking to fill critical positions, especially education. School districts need bus drivers, crossing guards, and teachers.
I think it's just indicative of the job market as a whole. I mean, we're searching for workers like every other business.
The Labor Department said Friday the economy added 315,000 jobs in August, less than previous months, but a strong number historically. The unemployment rate actually rose to 3.7%. That's because more Americans are now entering the job market.
It could be someone who retired during the pandemic and now is unretiring. It could be someone who didn't feel that it was safe to venture out in public to get a job previously because of COVID, feels a little more safety now.
Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick says businesses need more workers. The latest government data shows there are 11.2 million job openings.
It is the fact that it's close to 2 jobs that are open compared to every single unemployed American in this country.
Experts say the strong job market shows the economy is not nearing a recession, even though overall economic growth is slowing and inflation remains high. Last week, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said the central bank will remain aggressive in fighting inflation.
The Fed still believes it has a lot of work to do because prices are still high. The cost of shelter that includes rent and mortgage payments still high, and of course the cost of food is still high.
The Fed is expected to continue raising interest rates in an attempt to slow down rising prices. Matt Piper, CBS News, New York.
One new government report shows the job market, excuse me there. Still to come on the KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Today we're making homemade ravioli that's stuffed with all sorts of creamy goodness. That doesn't sound like something you want to miss, does it?
I don't know. But first, Chris Warner returns with a complete look at your holiday weekend forecast.
All right, so it is definitely a Friday here at KOAM TV. I tell you, poor Tanya over there, she's giving me looks already, but thankfully it is a finally Friday in the 4 states. Unfortunately, some of us dealing with rain in the area right now. We're watching this batch move on out, but we're also watching the potential for a few more of these showers to develop and bring some sprinkles and maybe a rumble of thunder or two to the area. The good news is no severe weather, nothing like what we saw yesterday evening in Coffeyville. 2 wind damage reports out there. So this whole system starting to spin on away, and for our friends in southeast Kansas, they've been dealing with some sunshine, which has had an impact on their temperatures. And take a look at some of these rainfall amounts too. You can see where the rain kind of parked itself for a little bit. We've got anywhere from 3 to 5 inches from just over northeast of Carthage down east of Neosho. I can't speak, Neosho. And then, of course, down in northeast Oklahoma, outside of our area, they got upwards of 6, even 8 inches of rain from this system. Now, for tonight, Friday night football, rain should be out of here, but we're going to be dealing with some leftover clouds, mostly cloudy at kickoff and at halftime, 73 and 72. So compared to last week, this is a very fall-like evening for Friday night football. Now, 7th in range line, we're socked in with mostly cloudy skies. The roads are still wet from the rain that is slowly creeping on out of here. And it's left us with this, 73 in Joplin right now with a light south-southeast breeze. So now you can very easily, see where our low pressure system is that's brought us this rain as it slowly tracks on out of here. You can also see who has had the rain and who hasn't. 82 Yates Center, 80 in Chanute and Iola, 77 in Fort Scott. And for Fort Scott, just east on 54, 73 in Nevada, where they did get a little more rain, and south on 49, Lamar sitting at 69 degrees at this noon hour. This is how much cooler, even the spots where it's still pretty warm, we're anywhere from 5 to almost 15 degrees cooler right now than what we were 24 hours ago, thanks to the cloud cover and the rain. As we go through the evening, we'll drop back into the upper 60s. With variably cloudy skies as the system moves out. Overnight lows dropping back to the lower to mid-60s across the board, so not bad. And for the weekend, we're looking pretty good so far. We got mostly cloudy skies both Saturday and Sunday, but we're looking at 87 on Saturday, 90 on Sunday, and the clouds will start to clear out late Sunday evening. This is the future track. At 5, it's still wanting to show maybe a scattered shower or two in the area. But they move on out of here in time for game night, just leaving us with those mostly cloudy skies through the weekend before they'll start to clear out late on Sunday. And we may see a stray shower or two Monday morning and possibly again, maybe some scattered storms Monday evening. So with scattered storm chances, and of course, if you're out at the football games tonight, should be okay, but always a good reminder, download our KOAM Skywatch weather app. Do so by scanning the QR code or going to your favorite app store and searching for KOAM Skywatch weather. So let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. We're looking at 92 on Monday with those scattered to isolated to scattered storm chances. Same thing on Tuesday, but 90, and then we start to warm up and clear out by the middle of next week. So Labor Day weekend doesn't look too bad. Any storms we see Monday should be late in the day, so hopefully you get everything done before it starts to storm, and then maybe a few more Tuesday before we settle into some partly cloudy skies.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a little break over the weekend, but the heat's coming back.
Yeah, the heat's on its way back, but this time it's the reverse of what we have been seeing, where it would be clear during the week and rain on the weekend. Well, now we're going to clear out during the weekend, and I think that's something, and it's just in time for a holiday weekend.
Yeah,
so
that's the nice part.
we're getting
We'll
the
take
much
that.
needed rain we need, but it's not washing out the holiday weekend.
And you and I are just going to sleep through the rain the rest of today.
That's what I intend to do.
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, here's a look at our
This is what we're talking about with it being a Friday here.
Yep, nothing's working in my favor. Here, we take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Sergeant Kevin Van Wyn in the U.S. Army. The soldier from Chanute, Kansas, joined the 82nd Airborne Division in 2006. He served 2 tours in Iraq. To Sergeant Kevin Van Wyn, we thank you, our four-state hero. Well, you are in for a treat today. Howard shows us an easy homemade way to make ravioli. Homemade crab ravioli in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today, we're making one of my favorites, homemade ravioli. And while there are tons of great pre-made options at the market, both refrigerated and frozen, it's hard to find ones that are stuffed with anything other than meat or cheese. But what if I told you that today we're stuffing them with crab? Oh yeah, these are gonna be amazing. First, we'll make a filling by combining some ricotta cheese and cream cheese, some crab meat, and that can be the real thing or imitation, a little Parmesan, some chopped parsley, scallions, and a bit of salt and pepper. Next, we assemble our ravioli. Now, instead of making pasta from scratch, we're using wonton skins, which we can find in the produce section. We put a spoonful of our filling in the center of each square, moisten the edges with a bit of water, and fold the corners over, making a triangle. Then we boil them till they're tender, just like we would with store-bought ravioli. Serve them up with your favorite sauce, and you're good to go. Not only are these perfect for dinner, but you can serve them as an appetizer too. Either way, I hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our homemade crab ravioli, so you can wow everyone with something that looks super fancy, yet is super easy. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a restaurant-worthy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
And our forecast tonight looking so good as well. Cloud interference for Friday night football, 73 at kickoff, 72 at halftime under mostly cloudy skies with some damp football fields. Heading into the weekend, we got a nice Labor Day weekend shaping up with maybe some storms late on Monday.
Well, what do we have coming up tonight at 5?
Well, at 5, human studies are now underway for a new first-of-its-kind drug to treat patients with monkeypox. We're going to have more for you on that in Health Watch. Plus, the Missouri Department of Transportation is getting ready to close a bridge on one of Joplin's busiest streets. We take a look at the detour around that bridge. And the Crawford County Historical Museum is taking students back in time to Civil War days during Little Balkans days. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up on KOAM News at 5.
All right, thank you, Dow. Thanks for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5 o'clock.